Well, I'll be goddamned. I'll be goddamned. I heard the stories, the tall tales shouted from the mountaintops and hillsides by film critics of the land, of a movie film for movie fans that acted as a definitive pile driver to the glut of modern CGI garbage festivals that plague the theaters. I am so happy to affirm this. Top Gun Maverick is not only one of the greatest movies of the year, it's also a rare shot of nostalgia that goes down smooth and an example to follow for any studio attempting big budget Hollywood-style cinema in the modern age. You probably know the story to this one, so I will be quick. Tom Cruise, aka the last movie star, aka Pete Mitchell, aka Maverick, gets called in to train a new generation of Top Gun pilots for a dangerous mission that demands impossible flying, laser precision, and goodness gracious great honkin' balls of fire to have any chance of succeeding. During his adventure, he meets an old friend, woos Jennifer Connelly, proves himself to a batch of really likable young actors, and engages in some of the most well-edited, impactful, cock-blistering action I've seen on screen in friggin' ages from a Hollywood production. It's a perfectly balanced mixture that has a driving rhythm to it, hitting all the notes of excitement and sentiment and romance, and feels all around like a new rendition of your favorite song, eclipsing even the rock-out headbang ability of the original. It also has Miles Teller in it, but hey, nothing's perfect. So it is fair to say that I dig this movie. Watching it actually came about at an interesting time for me, since I feel like we're seeing a bit of this throwback style cropping up these days. We recently looked at The Lost City, which was like a 90s classic adventure, and Samaritan, which I called a mid-shelf 80s action movie. And each of these had all the elements you'd expect from those genres. The difference is that Top Gun Maverick is actually really good, and utilizes its nostalgia perfectly in its formula, as opposed to just conjuring whiffs of a bygone era. To be honest, I'm not even that big a fan of the original Top Gun. I don't know if that's heresy, but I'm saying it. It's okay, but Pete Mitchell always felt kinda shallow and weird, defined only by his bullish disregard. The end mission felt disconnected from the substance of the main story, and overall it just sits with me more as an ineffable example of 80s-ness and humorous testosterone-laced homoeroticism than a truly great movie. Top Gun Maverick, on the other hand, explores the complexity of Pete Mitchell in his older years, giving him a lot more texture and dimension through his relationship with Rooster, who is the kid of his wingman in the previous film Goose, and his strange career in the Navy in their intervening years between the two stories. Not that any of this is all that complicated, mind you. This isn't Antichrist or Titan. Top Gun Maverick is not challenging highbrow cinema, but it is smart cinema in the sense that it's smartly made. You may know more or less exactly where it's going, but it absolutely aces the test of how-to movie in a way we have not seen in years, maybe decades. You can check my work on that last one. It's probably hyperbolic, but that's what it feels like. Watching this movie felt badass. It felt exhilarating, and I felt like I was a little kid again, just excited to be watching a damn good movie. It's so rare. The cast was superb, featuring some of the best acting Tom Cruise has done in his whole career. It's weird seeing him finally begin to age as well. I guess bathing in the blood of Scientology neophytes can only make the skin young for so long. And the lines in his face help to convey the story of Pete Mitchell, who, much like Tom Cruise, has made a career out of daredevilry and excess. I'm sure I'm not the only one to cogitate as well on the meta element of Tom Cruise of all people leading a last-ditch charge against the enemy, as if to say our one remaining movie star can still hold his own against the odds, against the world domination of the supervillain Disney Corporation. The impossible mission that was Top Gun Maverick has succeeded. What else? What else? It was great to see Val Kilmer come back for a bro hug. That was perfect. If you haven't seen the documentary Val to see the struggle he's been going through, I'll take the chance to plug that. It's an excellent monument to a complicated man, and the only fault is that it wasn't long enough. It should have been a series. The young cast also show great on-screen chemistry. You got a lady in there to balance out the homoerotic sports scenes. Old Ed Harris shows up to be grumpy for a minute, and I enjoyed the tonal balance between preparing for the mission and Pete chasing his old flame, Penny. The film is perfectly paced. It just is. Oh man, there is more. The editing in the film is so good, it probably deserves an Oscar. No, that's not a joke. On a similar token, the way it integrates shots and scenes that shadow the original movie actually serves the story and emotional core of the picture, as opposed to just feeling tacked on or gratuitous, as so often happens with sequels. Even the use of score, the way songs from Top Gun would crop up, were used for effect rather than cheap sentiment, like the motif for the Academy, creeping into the mix when Pete finds out he'll be going back to Top Gun. On top of all this, unlike the original, the final mission provides a through line for the plot, so that the story and characterization have a weight anchored in a sense of danger and severity. This gives the characters and their struggles, both in and out of the cockpit, a much needed gravity, and you don't even need to have seen the first film to feel its pull. If I were to say anything negative, it's that sometimes the dialogue can be a little too simplistic, a little too movie-ish, if you will, and some of the sentimentality definitely dips a little too deep into the Hollywood movie reservoir. But it's honestly whatever. It's fine because, like I've said, it's a movie. It's a harkening back to that age where big movies were fun, and even if they were formulaic and predictable, they still evoked that movie magic. I can't believe I just said movie magic in this day and age, being who I am. But I did. That's wild. And that's Top Gun Maverick. It's awesome. It's just awesome. If you know me, you know I usually tend towards the weirder side of the movie spectrum, but I can appreciate anything if it's well done. And this one is a success, plain and true. It's a good story with great characters, well told, with some of the best action scenes of the year, using real stunts as a punctuation mark. Alright, that is me done for the day. Finally, I can shut up now. Hit subscribe to join me in my cinematic odyssey as we continue to check stuff out. And get out of my theater. The crew and I are going to watch Men. It's a movie by Alex Garland. Critics liked it, and audiences hated it, to the point where they walked out and made videos about it, calling it pretentious garbage. So, you know what? It's probably great, since people are morons. Not you, though. Hopefully. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.